Hello my Mercurial mercenaries. It's the hottest day of the year so far. I thought we'd come outside and have a chat. I was going to drink a bottle of champagne in celebration of air, but the Perfect 10 has told me that I am not to waste over 10-year-old champagne that we've been keeping for a special occasion on something that is not a special occasion. So fine, but here we are, mercenaries, here we are. And I haven't really got a topic to talk about, but you know me, I can talk to, not to save the world, I can probably talk to end the world. Have any of you guys been keeping abreast of the Billy Mitchell situation? It's all over YouTube. Now, it's a bit of a nerdy thing, but Billy Mitchell was the first guy to beat Pac-Man, because Pac-Man has a finite amount of screens. I think it's 256, it's just to do with memory pokes and prods. And it's the kill screen. He reached the Pac-Man kill screen, allegedly. Or is that not allegedly? I'm not sure, because it turns out that Billy Mitchell has been cheating. He's been using MAME. I'm not too au fait with that. If you've watched my latest Let's Play, you can tell I ain't got a clue what I'm doing. But MAME is an arcade emulation thing. The thing is, if you're going to achieve a sort of Guinness Book of Records high score, you need to do it on a system that's kind of verified and that people can believe. So people have to use original arcade circuit boards. If you're going to beat Pac-Man, beat Donkey Kong, you've got to use original circuit boards. And MAME is like an emulation thing. And although I would still say that getting a massive score on an old, because let's face it, the old arcade games are the hardest, getting a massive score in an old arcade game, even if it's emulated perfectly, is still, well, wish I could do it. The thing with MAME is, if you're shown to have used MAME, is that you can basically cheat using it. You can save your position and replay bits till you get them right. Just like editing a video, really. It seems like this is just sheer perfection, one off on my part. The reality of it is, I edit, and those of you that know me via the power of ones and zeros know that I like the edit, which is why I've so far ignored the live stream. I think live streams can get you into trouble, much like SodaStream in the 80s. Could get you into trouble. Yeah, could get you into trouble. A wrong flavour here and there. Do you remember there was a cream soda flavour, clear liquid? Bit odd. Cream soda. Never got it. We never got cream soda over here. It's not a thing that we, got. I think it's an American thing. Root beer. Never understood root beer. Tried it. I don't see the fascination. If I want to drink medicine, I will wait till I'm ill, and then I'll have to drink medicine. Why do you guys choose to drink medicine? Unmedicated medicine, eh? Unmedicated medicine. But Billy Mitchell has been shown to have cheated. At least he's had his scores wiped out now from the kind of the worldwide official score tally website, Twin Galaxies. And I must admit that although he's allegedly a famous kind of video game playing character from history now, he only came to prominence, I think, especially with people like me, from the film King of Kong 10 years or so ago, where Billy Mitchell was pitched against Steve Wiebe. These names, my mercenaries. Trying to battle it out to see who could be the best Donkey Kong player. I remember an old question that we used to believe. People used to say, do you know why it's called Donkey Kong? And I remember hearing a story, which I believed was true, that they'd called it Monkey Kong, and they'd faxed it to somebody, the Japanese whatever had faxed it to someone, and they'd spelt it wrong, and it came through the other end of the fax as Donkey Kong. And they just stuck with it. They printed it on all the cabinets and stuck with it. But apparently that's an old wives' tale. It's always good to have Stephen Fry just on your shoulder, telling you that everything you've ever believed is wrong. But The King of Kong was a documentary film, and it was just charting the battle between Steve Wiebe, the newcomer, the upcomer, and Billy Mitchell, the old guard. And it showed an old photo from like the early 80s where you had all the like Atari video game hangout people, like from the days of Tron and War Games and The Last Starfighter and all those sort of things, where people actually hung out. I think even in Terminator 2, even in my youth, even as a teenager, we actually had an arcade place around here. It was pretty seedy though. It's pretty seedy. The American ones seemed clean, the British ones were seedy. But there was a famous picture from the early 80s of the best players of the time. It's in like Time magazine or something, and Billy Mitchell's there. So, you know, he had some credence, Clearwater Revival, to him. And in the film, the newcomer comes along, scores really well, and then Billy Mitchell just turns up with a videotape and says, well, I've just beaten your score. And the plot of the film, sometimes wish I was a bird. And then I remember I'd be walking around with no arms, just trying to pick things up off the floor with my mouth. Mainly husks. It's not for me. What kind of life is that? There's a pair of courting pigeons up there, moving their necks together, completely in unison. Heads together, necks going up and down together, touching beaks. Apologies, got distracted by a couple of pigeons, and then a couple of hours transpired, and that's the power of the edit, my mercenaries, and that's the power of San Miguel, the beer that likes to say yes. Perfect 10's been gallivanting, and she has got me a variety of fudge, and I've been told that this fudge, oh god, she did tell me, the white one is some sort of meringue thing. This one is Maltesers. Oh, I can't remember my mercenaries. My problem is that I've only got limited brain capacity for remembering so many things at once. Lyrics to 90s Britpop songs take up 50%, so it doesn't leave a lot for the rest of my life, really. I'm sure she said Malteser. Malteser? Can't be Malteser. Hang on. Malteser, not Malteser. Hang on. I mean, it tastes like fudge. Nice fudge. Cornish fudge. Perfect 10 spoke at length yesterday to a genuine, bona fide pop star. What did I do yesterday? Well, if you've got any pigeons that need to be stared at, I am your man. So yeah, King of Kong. This was this documentary in the late noughties about the quest to get the top score for Donkey Kong. And what it did, the film overall, was create a narrative of pitting this bloke against this bloke. Now, I've read that the documentary makers didn't actually set out to do that initially, but what happened was a storyline became apparent and it was able to be crafted. And that got me to thinking, so many people are taken in by reality shows on TV. But the point is, when you're creating any kind of documentary, to be honest, even stuff like this, what you're doing as you're filming anything, anywhere, anytime, is looking for a narrative, looking for a story, looking for something that can break the constraints of what you're actually filming and blossom. Face it, when the guys were filming the Some Kind of Monster documentary about Metallica, they were just filming a band recording an album. And I assume that the narrative was, when they started, was how does Metallica cope when they've lost their bass player? But what they discovered along the way was a new narrative, a better narrative, about one of the most famous singers in metal history going through alcohol recovery, and what resultant album you get from that. Someone who's always drunk, what do they produce when they're finally sober? And also, you guys out there, do you remember when that album first came out? Do you remember hating it? I don't remember hating it. I remember hearing Fran tick, 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 tock, Fran tick, 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 and thinking it was alright. And that video where they were filming in the prison, and even Lars's drum sound, I remember thinking it was alright when I first heard it. It was original. But it's all about narratives. And the collective narrative is now that St. Anger was a terrible album. And I have no desire to listen to it again to see whether that's right or wrong. But I do watch that documentary a lot. And it's the same with the Anvil one. I love that Anvil film. I watch that Anvil film, that Anvil documentary, about once a month. Honestly, it's so uplifting. But again, you got filmmakers who just go and film a band, and then they find a narrative, a through line. And in that film, it's kind of the fact that they, spoilers, they end up playing a decent gig in Japan, where someone in the crowd was someone who saw them back in the day, and you got a through line. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm on about. Oh God, what did you say the white one was? She did lemon meringue. This is, yeah, lemon meringue fudge from beautiful, deepest, darkest Cornwall. Wow. Wow. Wow, okay. That's different. That's nice. That's really nice. Exercise, dieting, one step forward, 2 steps back. So my wider point here was going to be that the general public, when they're watching these films, TV programs, whatever, I don't think they truly grasp the idea that documentaries and reality shows are created in the edit. You can film 100 hours, 200 hours, 1,000 hours of Big Brother or Hell's Kitchen, whatever, but you create the program in the edit by deciding on a narrative. And what you find is with something like Big Brother, they'll decide on a narrative. This person hates this person, or I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. This person hates this person. It's usually this person hates this person. Occasionally in Big Brother it's this person loves this person. You focus on that. You can edit things, edit situations. You can edit things out of sync. Hell's Kitchen's one for doing that, and especially Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmare Hell. It even has to say in that programme, please note, and it's in a small print that just flashes on the screen. In fact, I'll do a similar thing now, okay? Rather than say everything I'm going to say, I'll just flash it up on the screen. Been and gone. Your average member of the general public never saw it. They buy everything they see on the screen, hook, line and sinker. And it's all a load of old tosh. But I still like it, I still watch it, and if you've got a level of that, you can rise above it. I think people are surprised. I'm always on Twitter saying the latest trash TV I've been watching. I think people think, Mercurial number 6, can't you rise above trash TV? No. You can like trash TV. In fact, Stephen G. Atkins has just challenged me on Twitter to name my 4 films that define me. And the reason I say that is because I'd probably have to put Westworld in there, the original, well, the only film, Westworld in there. But, you know, other people would call that a trash film. But one person's trash is another person's diamond. But I don't think I'll respond to that tweet, because honestly, having to pick 4 films, I assume that the 4 films are not just what are your favourite 4 films, it's 4 films that kind of define you. I could do 100 video series on that. Next. What have I got here? But yeah, Westworld. It's a film that every time it's on I have to watch it. And that's the definition of a great film, if you ask me. Haven't watched the series. Without giving any spoilers, my mercenaries, have any of you watched the Westworld series on Amazon Prime or whatever it's on? And if you have, shall I give it a go? Is it good? Answers on a postcard. You've been good so far. You've switched me on to so many things so far. You've been good boys and girls. So what's my through line here? My narrative. I was just watching a reality TV show. I think it was Judge Judy, or Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmare Hell or whatever. I was watching it, and I just thought, people buy into this. They truly buy into this. They buy into it like it's real. Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy, and she's a switched-on woman. And if only all judges in the world were like her, the world would be a better place. But, you know, Judge Judy, they find contestants for their show. They give them all expenses paid trips out to where it's filmed, put them up in hotels. They pay all their expenses, and I've just repeated myself, but the cat ran down the hill and put me off. And when judgments are handed out, and you know you're going to pay him $3,000, none of it comes from the people. It all comes from the Judge Judy production team. No one loses anything. No one's really on the line. Everyone's in it for self-promotion, publicity. That's false reality. Hell's Kitchen. A group of people cooking. Should be simple, shouldn't it? But they create narratives. They pick up on things that are going on, build them up. Big Brother. It's not just like it was in the first series, a group of people in a house. It's now, find a narrative. Is someone being racist? Is someone being sexist? Are people falling in love? And I was watching these shows, and it's just people in authority, even if that's just TV executives, TV producers, people in authority have the ability to create narratives. And rather than the 100 or so people who watch this, they create narratives for millions. It's powerful. It's edit. It's all in the edit. It's all in the decisions you make. After you've filmed everything, after you've filmed anything, before you filmed anything, whatever. It's when you're sitting at that computer and you've got the mouse in your hand, you can create whatever story you want to create. And that's the power of the edit. And even though I enjoy watching live streams, and I quite like off-the-cuff, long, uncut rambles to camera, the power is still in the edit. And I've finally found a through line. I finally found a narrative for this video. So I thank you. Over and